Hello everyone, welcome to my class. So today we are going to talk about the topic as it is written on the board. You can see voice change. Okay, now voice change. Now what is this? We need to first understand what is voice change and then we can go to the other explanation part with the examples. Now वॉइस चेंज मतलब क्या होता है? जैसे हम लोग नॉर्मली बात करते हैं तो क्या होता है, हम लोग एक ही बात को कई तरह से बोल सकते हैं, राइट? दैट मीन्स it is the way of talking that actually shows that whether we are happy or we are angry or we are irritated. So it just shows with our voice and with our facial expression that what way are we talking about. Okay, so this voice change is also all about that. Exactly the way in speaking we change our voice and we change our tone while we talk. Exactly that is how in grammar also we have certain use of that change of voice in its grammatical way, and then we understand कि कैसे किस sentence को बोलना है, right? तो मैं अगर ऐसा एक बोलूँ, एक example, I can give you just a very simple example that my mother cooks delicious food. So just make it a straight Hindi of that कि मेरी मम्मी बहुत अच्छा खाना बनाती है. Now if this sentence is I'm saying in one way, now I can say the same sentence in a different way, that delicious food is made by my mother. That means the meaning of these two sentences are just the same. Now if I make Hindi, straight Hindi translation of this particular sentence, बहुत अच्छा खाना मेरी मम्मी के द्वारा बनाया जाता है. So it's like it shows that two different kinds of ways of saying the same sentence. So that is what voice change is all about, right? Now when we talk about that, there are certain rules that we need to follow. But let's see, there are two types of voice that we follow in English grammar. Now what are those? Now voice is mainly of two types, that's active voice and passive voice. So let me write it down on the board, right? Yeah, active voice and next one is passive voice. So now what is active voice, what is passive voice? That's what we need to know. When we talk about active voice, this is the simple undertone with which we talk, the most commonly used mode of talking or writing, that as I said, my mother cooks delicious food. So here I'm just straight away I'm following the subject verb object format of making a sentence. So if I say like this, the active voice is, I'll just write an example. My mother cooks delicious food. Right? Now, same sentence, the same sentence I can make in other way also, and that is also grammatically correct, and that also conveys the same message that we are conveying through this particular sentence. How do we do that? I will change it to passive voice, जो कि indirect way में बोला गया है. How? As I told you already, this sentence will be, here I'll just write the example of this. Delicious food is cooked by my mother. Right. So now both of these sentences, they convey the same meaning, but they have different approach in its formation. जब हम लोग ये sentence बना रहे हैं, then it is becoming completely different way of formation. See, the एकदम change हो चुका है. How one thing? How can we see how is it changed? See the first sentence. इस sentence में what was the subject? Who is the subject in this sentence? The subject is my mother, right? But look at this sentence that is in passive voice. What happens in passive voice? The sentence order has been changed altogether. In this sentence, this was subject, that is my mother is a subject, and who is the object in the sentence? Delicious food. This is the object, right? But now look at this sentence in passive voice. Exactly the order has been changed. Delicious food, which was object in the sentence, that has become subject in passive voice. So passive voice में हम पूरा formation change कर देंगे. How? Object आ जाएगा subject की जगह और subject चला जाएगा object की जगह. So it will completely not topsy-turvy in its formation. So this become the subject here, and where is the object in this sentence? This, my mother. My mother is the object in the sentence. Now you look at these two different sentences. This was subject, my mother, it has become object. And here delicious food was the object. This has become subject in passive voice. So what is the moral, like gist? You have to remember that in active voice, whatever, however we are making the sentence, we will just change it completely in its passive voice. And automatically क्या होता है, उसके लिए पूरा order change हो जाता है. But what we have to be careful about while we are changing is the helping verb, the verb that we are using in the sentence. क्योंकि ये जो verb है, this tells us whether the sentence is in present tense, past tense, future tense, or what else, right? Now, if a sentence is given in active voice, अगर कोई sentence present tense में है, then we cannot make it, we cannot change the tense of the sentence in passive voice. That you have to be careful, students. That just because you are changing active to passive doesn't mean that you will change the tense. Tense has to be the same. Because see, अगर हम लोग logically सोचे तो क्या होता है? Tense मतलब समय, right? Now कोई काम जो मैं अभी के बात कर रही हूँ, वो काम अभी चल रहा है. So when I am changing it into passive, तो क्या हो जाता है? क्या वो टेंस चेंज होके वो पास्ट हो जाएगा? नो, वो अभी हो रहा था, यहाँ पर भी काम अभी हो रहा है. मतलब मेरी मम्मी बनाती है, यहाँ भी हम लोग वही बोल रहे हैं कि वो बनाती है, अभी भी बनाती है. इट इज नॉट बिकमिंग पास्ट. सो फॉर द हेल्पिंग वर्ब केस, वेयर इज द हेल्पिंग वर्ब हियर? Here is the helping verb. Okay, I'm writing in short, that is HV, that is helping verb. So helping verb will be according to the tense of the active voice. अगर active voice present पे हो तो इसका helping verb भी present में होगा. अगर active voice is in past or future तो passive voice में भी helping verb will be in past or future. So that we have to remember, right? So that's how we understand. So that was just a very simple introduction of voice change. कि how do we make one sentence in some different ways, right? Now we will talk about some of the rules. Okay, so let's see the rules. Yeah, here I will talk about the rules here. That is very important. Now when I say rules, you have to remember that rules vary according to the tense of the sentence. Okay, now let's talk about the first one, that is a simple present tense. I'll talk about only simple present tense right now, and then we will go to past and future in accordance. Okay, so now rules, when we talk about, first we have to understand, as I told you, कि subject और object पूरा उल्टा हो जाएगा. They will change their respective places. So passive voice में when I'm changing from active to passive, okay, when I'm talking about from active to passive, what is the rule for simple present tense? Now tense is for, okay. Now for simple present tense, what is the rule when we are changing from active to passive? See, first thing I'll talk about is subject, which is here when I say subject, it means object of the active voice. Okay, so I'll just write that in bracket so you can understand. Your subject means active voice में जो object था वो आ जाएगा सामने, वो हो जाएगा subject. So I'll just write in bracket. राइट? तो एक्टिव वॉइस में जो सेंटेंस था उसका जो सब्जेक्ट था, जो उसका जो ऑब्जेक्ट था, दैट विल बिकम सब्जेक्ट इन दिस केस, प्लस helping verb. Okay, now helping verb will be according to the subject. So helping verb plus then comes third form of the main verb. Okay, V3 as in verb ka third form. So subject plus helping verb plus V3 plus object. So I have to use this word by. This is very important. Okay, this you have to remember. So by here is very important. This is something we add only in case of passive voice. We do not use it in case of active voice. So now when I talk about object, as I already told you, who is the object here? जो कि active voice में subject था, वो आ जाएगा in place of object, right? So therefore this will become, this is subject of active voice. Okay, object means subject of active voice. Now when I talk about this particular rule, what do you have to remember? Now let's change the sentence that I was talking about, that my mother cooks delicious food. This was active voice, but when I change it to passive, what happens? Subject is delicious food, वहाँ पर object था तो वो हो जाएगा subject में, delicious food helping verb में आएगा is, because food means here we are talking about singular number. Delicious food is V3, cook was the main verb तो उसका V3 हो जाएगा cooked plus by. This is very important because this we use only for passive voice. By object हो जाएगा my mother, क्योंकि my mother active voice में subject था, right? So like that, I'll give you one more example. Okay, here, so active voice I will just write here in the corner, and following to that we will just change it into passive voice by using this particular rule. Okay, so if I tell you the sentence here, look at this. The peon opens the gate. Now here where is the subject? Let's find out. First we have to understand ये जो sentence है ये active voice में है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर subject जो है वो खुद काम कर रहा है, right? In active voice the subject, that is the doer, he does the work all by himself. He doesn't take help from anybody. वो किसी का help या सहारा नहीं लेते हैं. So this is the subject here. So I'll just underline, this is the subject here. Okay. Now this is the main verb, as we all can see, opens. Active voice में in case of simple present tense we don't use any helping verb, so there is no question of helping verb. Directly we have got the main verb, that is opens, and of the gate क्या हुआ? The gate हो गया object of the sentence, right? See, now this particular sentence is in present tense, simple present tense, and this is in active voice. क्यों एक्टिव वॉइस क्यों है? क्योंकि पियोन जो है, जो सब्जेक्ट है, वो पियोन खुद वो काम कर रहा है. He is not taking anybody's help. Now I'll change it to passive voice using this particular rule. Okay. Now जैसे हम लोग पैसिव बनाएंगे तो सब्जेक्ट कौन होगा? उसका जो ऑब्जेक्ट. तो who is the object here? The gate, right? So I'll bring the gate here. The gate. Okay. Now what is the rule? After subject जो कि है active voice का object, plus will come helping verb. Now gate is singular. There is only one gate we are talking about. It's singular. Therefore what will be the helping verb? Is. अभी is क्यों? Why not was? क्योंकि हम लोग यहाँ पर सिर्फ present tense की बात कर रहे हैं, right? We are talking about only present tense. So no was, no were, no had. It's only about is, am, are. Because it is present tense. So you have to be very careful about tense also when you are doing voice change. So the gate is हेल्पिंग वर्ब होगा is, क्योंकि ये प्रेजेंट टेंस में है और गेट है सिंगुलर नंबर. Now after helping verb, what do we have? V3, main verb का third form. Now where is the main verb in this sentence? Of course the action word is opens. So opens हो गया main verb. So open का V3 करना है, मतलब third form will be opened, right? So the gate is opened. The gate is opened. अब आ जाएगा द मेन वर्ड पैसिव वॉइस का, जो कि है बाय. किसके द्वारा काम हो रहा है? बाय. लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, ऑब्जेक्ट. नाउ ऑब्जेक्ट कौन होगा? एक्टिव वॉइस का जो सब्जेक्ट था, सब्जेक्ट ऑफ एक्टिव वॉइस. सो इस एक्टिव वॉइस में हु वाज द सब्जेक्ट? एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी मार्क्ड फॉर यू ऑल, द पियोन, राइट? सो हियर बाय के बाद आ जाएगा पियोन, बाय द पियोन. ओके, फुल स्टॉप. तो ये हो गया हमारा पैसिव वॉइस में कन्वर्जन फ्रॉम एक्टिव वॉइस टू पैसिव वॉइस, राइट? सो द गेट इज ओपन्ड बाय द पियोन, right? Very easy. Just you have to be careful about tense. Which tense is it being done, right? If you don't remember the tense, अब अगर हम लोग गेट के यहाँ पर was कर देते हैं तो तुम्हारा पूरा सेंटेंस हो जाता है wrong. It will be a completely wrong sentence because the sentence is in present tense. So you have to be careful about that. Otherwise, the rule is just the same. Subject plus helping verb plus V3 plus by object. तो इसका मतलब अभी क्या हुआ? गेट पियोन के द्वारा खुला गया, राइट? सो द इट इज द मीनिंग इज सेम. यहाँ पर भी हम लोग बोले पियोन गेट खोलते हैं और यहाँ पर हम बोल रहे हैं कि पियोन के द्वारा गेट खोला जाता है. सो द मीनिंग इज स्टिल द सेम बट द वे ऑफ स्पीकिंग इज जस्ट completely different. Okay, now here as we can see the order has been changed and we have used the applicable rule that is needed, and that's how we do. But this is applicable only for this particular tense, that is simple present tense. Okay, this rule is applicable only for simple present tense, right? So it's better if you just write down this particular rule, because whenever you are changing it you have to remember this rule and you have to do it. Okay, so I will write another sentence just in the same way. I'll simple present tense mein I'll give you one more sentence that will be let me just rub out this particular sentence, then I can write down another one. Okay, I'll keep the rule intact. Okay, keep the rule intact. I will just change the sentence. Okay, the tense will still be the same. I'm still talking about simple present tense. Okay, only the rule will be same, the content will be different. So I have to rub out this as well. Fine. A very simple sentence I have given here. What is that? Rahul brings vegetables. Okay, so very easy and very simple sentence. सिर्फ directly देखो subject है, verb है, object है. There is no extra thing, nothing is given. Okay, now very quickly we will find out who is the subject, who is the verb, who is the object. As we all can know that here the subject is Rahul. Yeah, this is the subject of the sentence. पहले तो एक चीज हम लोग को बोलना है कि ये है active voice में, because काम कौन कर रहा है? सब्जेक्ट खुद काम कर रहा है. राहुल खुद वेजिटेबल्स लाता है. सो हियर राहुल इज द डूअर ऑफ द होल थिंग, सो ही इज द सब्जेक्ट हियर. देन गोज वर्ब. सो हियर इज द मेन वर्ब, राइट? सो आई विल जस्ट MV, दैट मीन्स मेन वर्ब. या मेन वर्ब बिकॉज सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस है. या हम लोग इस टेंस की बात कर रहे हैं, इसमें कोई हेल्पिंग वर्ब का कॉम्प्लिकेशन नहीं है. इट इज जस्ट action word directly. Now subject, main verb, then comes object. Vegetables क्या है? Vegetables है object. Okay, now this entire sentence is in which voice? Active voice. अब हम लोग उसको change करेंगे passive में using this particular rule. So I'll just revise the rule once more. Subject जो कि है एक्टिव वॉइस का ऑब्जेक्ट, फिर हेल्पिंग वर्ब, देन V3 वर्ब का थर्ड फॉर्म, एंड देन कम्स बाय, वी हैव टू यूज द वर्ड बाय, किसके द्वारा हो रहा है, एंड देन कम्स द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस व्हिच इज अगेन सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द एक्टिव वॉइस. क्लियर? नाउ find out in this sentence where is the object. Object is vegetables, right? So first I have to write that here. Vegetables now very important part, helping verb. Now which helping verb will we use here? Vegetables, एक तो tense है present tense, तो present tense में हम लोग को रहना है, and this is singular plural as we can see. Vegetables, it's plural, it's more than one, therefore the verb will be are, because in present simple present tense we only use is, am, are, we don't use any other helping verb. Now for plural, are. Then comes V3. So where is the main verb here? As you can see, brings. Bring is the main verb. So vegetables are, उसका हो जाएगा third form. Bring का third form है bring, brought, brought. So here you have to remember that when you are doing voice change, you not only have to think about tense, but you also have to learn about verbs, right? The three different forms of verbs. Otherwise, we cannot change from active to passive. It will become pretty difficult. So, fine. So vegetables are brought. Yeah, vegetables are brought. Then comes by. किसके द्वारा? Vegetable लाया जाता है किसके द्वारा? By ऑब्जेक्ट जो कि है एक्टिव वॉइस का सब्जेक्ट. तो एक्टिव वॉइस में who was the subject? As we can see, Rahul was the subject. So by Rahul. Full stop. So now this particular sentence is complete. Okay? How is it complete? देखो vegetables उसके लिए हो जाएगा are, vegetables are brought by Rahul. Clear? So here I have already changed and this sentence becomes passive voice. क्यों passive voice? क्यों नहीं active voice? क्योंकि यहाँ पर जो subject है, that is vegetables, subject is not doing the work alone. It is taking help of somebody, that is Rahul. Vegetable खुद तो मार्केट से घर आ नहीं सकते हैं, so it is somebody has to bring it, right? So who is bringing it? Rahul is bringing it. So vegetables, this subject, this particular subject is taking help of this person, Rahul. So here doer, he is not the doer, right? He can be the subject, but the action is being done by Rahul. So that's the basic difference between active voice and passive voice. Active voice में doer खुद अपना काम करता है, subject खुद अपना काम करता है, but in passive voice, subject needs help of some agent to do the work. Subject की किसी agent की ज़रूरत है to finish the work because subject cannot do the work on its own. So vegetables को Rahul लाता है, so we need this by part. By part is very important. That's why in passive voice we use by, but we do not use by in active voice because here the subject is doing the work on its own. Okay, so that's how we change the sentences from active to passive. It's a very easy way, but this rule you have to remember is only applicable for simple present tense. Now comes present continuous tense, present perfect tense. For them also we have got rules. It is almost same, just a little bit of difference is there. Otherwise it's still just the same. Okay, so I'll give the last ever example and then we will move to the next part of it. So the last example, okay, I need to rub it out. Okay, this will be the last example. Yeah, and here I'm rubbing out this example as well. I'll do a completely different one altogether. Okay, so the sentence will be, okay, the cat attacks everyone. I have written the sentence like that. A very simple sentence. Again, who is the subject? As we can see, subject is the cat. Who is the actual, what is the main verb here? The main verb is attacks. So I'll just write it as M and V because main verb. And who is the object here? Object is everyone. My E is not visible, so you just understand here is my E. Okay. Now, subject, verb, object. Very, very clearly I have got all the three parts. Now, using this rule again, I'll change it very quickly, and it's very easy because the rule is still the same. You just have to put the things in its correct order. So, subject, which is object of the active voice. Now, here in this sentence, who is the object? Everyone, right? So, everyone will be the subject in the new passive voice that we are going to make. So, here it is. Everyone. Yeah. Now, everyone, with that, we have to add helping verb now. Now, it's a confusion can be created that is or are. Everyone मतलब तो सब होते हैं, but no, everyone is distributive adjective. तो इसके लिए we will consider it as singular number. So, is will be added. Everyone is. Because in adjective you must have learned that every, each, these are all distributive adjective. So, we've always considered them as singular number and not as a plural. Okay, so everyone is, now main verb is attack V3. So, I have to change attack into its third form, which is attacked ED. So, everyone is attacked. Then comes the by part, किसके द्वारा? क्योंकि यहाँ पर everyone तो काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पर doer तो है cat. So, by the cat. Okay, everyone is attacked by the cat. So, that is the end of the sentence, and we have changed it into passive voice. Now, one thing is very important while you are changing from active to passive, and that is do not omit or do not leave out any part of the active voice when you are changing it into passive. मतलब कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम कभी of या the, ये जो articles है, prepositions है, we kind of overlook sometimes and we don't add that in passive voice. Suppose यहाँ पर है the cat. Now if you write by cat और अगर तुम the को change करके a कर दो, your sentence is still grammatically wrong because active voice में दिया हुआ है the cat. So you cannot actually change the question, right? So it has to be the cat only and you cannot change it to a cat. Okay? So that's how you have to always, whenever you are changing from active to passive, be careful that we have to be careful about the number. Okay? कि the cat मतलब यहाँ पर जो article है, we have to use the same article in passive voice. The only thing we are changing is the helping verb. सिर्फ helping verb अपने हिसाब subject के अनुसार change होता रहेगा. Otherwise, everything else will remain the same. Of, the, everything should be kept intact. We cannot leave out anything that is there in the active voice part. Clear? So that's how we changed it. Everyone is attacked by the cat. So again you see here the subject is everyone, and everyone ये काम खुद नहीं कर रहे हैं, right? They need an agent. कौन कर रहा है? वो cat कर रहा है. That's why we have used this by part. By the cat, cat के द्वारा, right? So that's how we change from active to passive. This is for simple present tense only. You have to be very careful about this. Okay? You do not use the same rule in case of perfect tense or present continuous tense, right? Okay? That's all for now. Thank you so much.